Hello dear chess lovers and chess experts. Grandmaster Sergey Shipov is commenting the chosen games of the 3rd Grand Prix FIDE tournament. Today we will see a battle of an interesting growing talent against an ex-world champion. Mamedyarov can't stop the draw drought, though he's had some good moments to score. Kasimzhanov is at the bottom of the tournament scoreboard after losing 2 very tough games. But it's still early. Rustam has a lot of will. I believe in him. The Nimzo-Indian defense. The Romanishan variation. Why does allowing pawn weaknesses to arise in his camp? The active bishop on g2 must compensate for that. A solid development. The earlier mentioned weaknesses come up in this particular variation, etc. Black is playing to develop and strictly in the center, down the classic roads. He doesn't have any weaknesses, but because the queen side isn't developed, it's too early to talk about an equal position. Not a standard move, which made Kasimzhanov take some time to think. However, this logical way of protecting the knight on c3 has been in practice for half a century. The most important theoretical battles in our time develop after Queen b3, and later, for example, Queen a5, and so on. This particular variation was seen in, quite recently actually, in the game Kramnik-Anand that happened in Bonn in 2008 during the World Championship match. Now that was already a choice. Also pretty popular is bishop takes c3, for example in the game Kasparov Short in Sarajevo in 1999, followed the following. And here white got a very strong attack for the sacrifice material. The weakness of the pawn c3 is a clear strategic plus for black, but the dynamic factors of the position are to white's advantage. The pawn b7 is in trouble, and if the black queen goes to help it, it will be in trouble as well. An interesting pawn sacrifice. How it was shown in the famous blitz game Kasparov Anand and Hugoven in 1999, obviously unsuccessful, is e5 due to this variation. And after these series of moves, black couldn't get compensated for the losses. And still, in such a position, the white-squared bishop is now worse than a rook. Besides, there are concrete circumstances that are to the advantage of capturing the rook. I mean the future invasion of the knight d4 to c6. No matter how strange it may sound, Mamedyarov's move is a novelty, but I think it was already studied by the leading analysts of this planet. And here's a chance to try it in practice. The pioneers in this variation are, like, picked out. Great. For example, in this variation, black defended and then hold on in the game Kasparov-Solov in Linares in 1990. Kasimzhanov is a scarily principled chess player, or maybe even a chess player principally scary. If someone challenges him to a duel, he will never turn the invitation down. White, of course, will win back the exchange. Judging from Rustam's reaction speed, he's ready for the chosen line. Somewhere, sometime, he's seen it. Maybe that was before the match on Kramnik. It just so happens that Kasimzhanov worked on the world champions team. So, white won a pawn. But black has a sizable compensation. He is wonderfully developed. His pieces are actively working and pressuring the weak pawn c3. To realize that advantage, Mamedyarov will have to bend over backwards. A small trap, clearer than water. Of course the pawn c3 is poisonous. This is a careful move. The square c4 is of course taken over completely, but black's possibilities for counterplay are confined. White's obvious move is queen d3 with the perspective idea queen a6. All in all, White's strategy is simple. He must hold on to the pawn c3 for some time and then leave it to die and get the initiative. For example, it's possible to attack the pawn on a7. I think that there was more sense in a more aggressive game with the accent on the king's side. For example, knight e5. And later, for example, rook b1, h4, and so on. And here we see that White is having a tough time. Also, just in case, I'll show the trap. Rook takes c3, and the knight d7 is lost. Now I will take a short break, and I will show the rest of the comments in the next video.